The second Super Bowl loss changed his perception because we had the GOAT conversation last week.
Um, Not just a second Super Bowl loss, but a second Super Bowl beatdown. Because again, the final score of Super Bowl 55 was 31 to 9, if I'm not mistaken, or like 37-9.
I believe it, I believe it was 31-9. I believe you're right.
Okay. And then at one point, you guys were up. I don't remember if you went up 40 to nothing, but you. I definitely.
It was 34.
Okay, 34 to nothing. So the Chiefs basically lost both of these Super Bowls, Super Bowl 59 and Super Bowl 55, by a combined 40. Like, I don't care that they scored those garbage time touchdowns and made the score look.
Basically, if you do the math, it's 65-9, so 56.
Yes. Like, that's ridiculous. And maybe that's more so because in both Super Bowls, the Chiefs' offensive line had questions. But at least for now, Brady holds on to his GOAT status.
By the way, even in the Super Bowl Brady was getting blown out in, he came back and won.
Yes. I will tell you this. Even when you guys were up 34 to nothing, I was like, no, I'm not saying this is over.
Oh, at that point it was over. When Jay went for the ball to Devontae to make it 34-0, that's when I said it's over.
I'm sorry, not 34 nothing. When you guys were up, what was it?
24-0 at the half.
Yeah, yes, 24-0. I'm like, oh, I'm not willing to say this game is over. We've seen Mahomes come back. Like,
yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, I don't want to bang on Mahomes too much because the earliest the guy's been eliminated is the AFC Championship game when he's starting. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I've been saying, like, okay, they got blown out in the Super Bowl twice. What if, dear God, oh help us all again? But what if they go to two straight Super Bowls again? What if they win another back to back? You know, what if they go 4 Super Bowls in seven years?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think this is a we'll see question in time. I actually put a little more of the blame on the Super Bowl. Obviously, the majority of it goes on Mahomes. But I don't think a lot of people are talking about the fact that Andy Reid did not adjust. Kansas City, I mean, they just looked lost from the start, and it was Andy Reid's knock in Philadelphia when he was there, which was Andy would have a game plan, and he wouldn't come off his game plan, which I've given Belichick a ton of crap before about how he hasn't understood offense, and he's the greatest defensive coach ever, and gave a 41 in a Super Bowl, yada, yada, yada. But the one thing Belichick never would do was let his team get blown out in a big game.
Yeah. I'm going to put a little less blame on Andy Reid in this case. The Chicago Bears know where the blame should go.
Oh, you're putting the majority of the offensive blame on obviously Mahomes, but Matt Nagy.
Yep, that's right. The Bears are like, oh, first time with the Matt Nagy experience. Like, Matt Nagy, what was that? Like, you knew Philadelphia was coming after Mahomes, and he didn't use his mobility at all. Like,
they tried in the second half, but I mean they started way too late. That was the problem. They did make adjustments, but it was at the half.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. They should have come out and had Mahomes after like the first couple drives when they saw how much pressure Mahomes was under. They should have adjusted and been like, "Oh shit, let's start running some bootlegs."
Well, the other thing is they didn't try to run the ball. How about start with that?
Exactly. That's a huge reason why I'm putting a lot of the blame not on Andy Reid, but at the feet of the former Bears head coach, Matt Nagy.
Because one thing on the opposite side, I got to give Kellen Moore a lot of credit for this. Saquon Barkley did not have a very good game at all.
No.
Especially by his standards. But you know what he did? He kept running the ball.
The one, the one little criticism I have for Kellen Moore, and I want to hear your opinion on this. I would have liked to have seen him get Saquon involved in other ways when you knew he was kind of
He
limited.
did. They have these screens. They threw him like 5 or 6 screens.
Yeah, but I'm saying like maybe you could have lined him up as a wide receiver and gotten him a couple involved in the passing game that way, at least a little.
My take on it is he hasn't done that all year. So why do it now? I mean, Saquon is not known for his passing ability. That's why you have Devontae Smith. That's why you have AJ Brown. That's why you have Dallas Goddard, who only had one target in the whole freaking game.
So
Think about how good Dallas Goddard is. He's like what, the fourth option? I mean, Jahad Dodson was getting more targets than Goddard.
yeah, so again, that's like a small critique, but whatever.
Overall, Ted, to answer the question on the screen again for Patrick Mahomes for Kansas City, listen, I am scared of what Kansas City's going to do in the offseason and what they're going to do next year. Because the one thing we know about Kansas City, when they lose, they do come back with a vengeance.
Yeah, and you know what happened the last time their offensive line got exposed? They
They
went out
completely redid it.
ex-
Completely.
exactly. I think you're going to see a similar thing happen this offseason, and the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. If you want to write them off, you can, but you're doing that at your own peril. Mahomes isn't going anywhere. I mean, Buffalo is still going to be in the mix. I,
Yes.
I don't want to say
Baltimore's going to be in the mix. If Cincinnati gets their defense together, they will be in the mix. They have a quarterback. The
it
Char-
depends. It depends on if they can keep Jamar Chase or not.
the Chargers are going to be in the mix. I
Den-
know a lot of people like Denver. I think Denver's going to still be in the mix. A lot of people are interested to see what Liam Cohen does down there in Jacksonville. Houston just signed the Rams passing coordinator as their offensive coordinator. We'll see if they can rebound. I know a lot of people are interested to see what Anthony Richardson and Shane Steichen do potentially with a full off season in Indianapolis. So, like the AFC, we do know one thing: the NFC is getting better, but the AFC is still the supreme conference. But Kansas City is the head of that conference.
yes. Um, in terms of challengers for you, I would say Washington, the Rams. I can't say San Francisco because they have their own problems.
I think San Francisco is going to come back with a vengeance. Um, I'll say this: I think Washington is actually our number one challenger right now.
Okay,
The
fair
reason
enough.
why I'm hesitant on the Rams, there are rumors out there they may have a different quarterback next year.
Really?
Yes, there have been multiple reports out there that whether it's for the draft or for trade, they will look to get younger at the quarterback position.
Plus, it sounds like Cooper Cup is going to get traded this offseason also. But I'm not just going to dismiss the Rams regardless. We'll see if Arizona can build on what they did this offseason. I'm also interested in what Seattle's going to do.
Yeah, Seattle has to get a quarterback. I mean that's the thing with Seattle. You cannot run it back with Geno Smith. If you do, Seattle will win 9, 10 games again. I mean that will be their ceiling.
Yeah. I'd,
Green Bay with Jordan Love. I'm interested to see what they do. I am very interested to see what Ben Johnson does in Chicago with Caleb, and I'm even more interested to see. I'm already on the record. I think the Lions. I don't think they're going to be as good next year. I think they will still be a playoff team, and I think that may be harder than people think for them to get back to the playoffs because I think losing both Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson is going to hurt them tremendously.
I would agree. Um, I, I don't know what to make of Minnesota.
If,
So,
if they have JJ McCarthy as their quarterback, I think they are a legit team. But I have as great as Brian Flores can be as a defensive coordinator. I've always thought Flores sort of beats up on bad quarterbacks. and is not very good when the lights are brightest.
Yeah. But again, like we said, Mahomes is still going to be around. Um, do I think he's going to be able to get the Chiefs to another in a position to go for a three-peat? No. But, you know, you can't dismiss the Chiefs. You can't.